Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a reading for the sign of Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Thank you so much for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. And please be mindful to not fall for any scammers, anyone trying to solicit for private readings. I do offer private readings at this time, and you can find out information regarding that in the link in my About section. I also have an Instagram page. Please follow me over there at Honey Drops Tarot. So thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. So Libra, I'm using the Tarot of Mystical Moments, and I'm going to be using the for the Oracle deck. It's going to be the archetype, the Wild Unknown archetype deck. It's every session of astrological signs, I'm going to be switching out the cards. As you can see, I have tons of cards on the shelf behind me, so just wanted to be a little consistent. Still trying to figure out my format, so bear with me. I'll be pulling 5 cards for the main spread, 5 cards for clarifiers, and then your oracle card at the end. So Libra, I hope you all are doing well. Libra is actually in my North Node, so it's kind of a sign that is here to teach me a lot of lessons. And it might explain why I'm absolutely surrounded on all sides by Libras. So I'm gonna pull your cards for you. I never choose the cards. I just let them flip out. 5 cards all in reverse to begin with. That's not a bad thing. It's just a way for me to interpret the reading with a little more depth. One more. Okay, so you have a lot of major arcana. It's probably the most of any of the readings so far. Basically, when I talk about major arcana, I'm talking about the main archetypes of the tarot. So it's very heavy-handed spiritual influence. So you have the major arcana and the minor arcana. The minor arcana, I like to think of it as the things that you and I can manipulate in the material world, but major arcana is when spirit kind of has their say and guides us a little bit more closely in these circumstances. So just to keep that in mind. In the past position, you have the Hanged Man in reverse. This card is actually in reverse. It's supposed to be like this. And clarified by the Queen of Cups in reverse, which is a Cancer energy. She looks really beautiful there. In the upright, the Hangman would suggest in your past this time of contemplation, that you are purposefully removing yourself from a situation to gain more clarity on it, that you would kind of just hang back, stay in the background, listening, observing. So something in your recent past caused you to take pause. Spirit's telling me that it might have been a little blow to your ego. And, you know, we all have ego that is there to sometimes bolster us up, sometimes protect us, sometimes to our benefit, and sometimes to our detriment. And there's something here that might have been a little bit of a disappointment to you. And so you took yourself out of play. You took yourself out of the game. I'm getting this like a soccer reference. So it's like you were benched, or you benched yourself. You took yourself out to kind of figure out what all of this bramble is about. See all this bramble, all of the leaves here? It's just making me think like kind of trying to sift through the energy and sift through perhaps your own thinking about a situation, how you want to proceed. it's a little bit involving self-care with the Queen of Cups in reverse. So you did actually get the Hangman in reverse. I like this card because it's kind of got this zipper here, and it's almost like there's this great revealing. But you got the Hangman in reverse, which suggests to me that either it's like you got your revealing of truth and clarity, and then you're just kind of closing it back up. It's almost like you unzipped something that had truth inside of it. You saw what you needed to see, and you're just like, I'm closing that back up now. Because maybe the conclusion that you came to was not ideal. And so now we're focusing on self-care. Queen of Cups as Cancer energy, she usually suggests someone who is really, really compassionate, empathic, and loving, and doting was the word. Again, the tentacles as hair is coming up again. It showed up in a couple of readings that I did yesterday. The Queen of Cups normally is the one that reaches out to people and, are you okay? And is a caregiver. And right now you're just kind of feeling like, I'm just going to retreat back into my cove, my cozy cave, and take care of myself. This is past energy. And that's not a bad thing. It was necessary. It's what I just heard. It was necessary for you to assert your dominance and your distance over something. In the present energy, you have the Emperor in reverse. This is the Emperor in the upright. It's pretty regal. Reminds me of like an oligarch. Is that how you say it? Then a ruler steeped in history and a historical family. Clarified by the Page of Wands, the card that I call Little Darwin. The explorer, somebody who is curious, a curious energy. So in the present moment, with the Emperor in reverse, this is another major arcana. That's your second one. The Hangman was your first. With the Emperor in reverse, you're feeling a little disempowered. That perhaps you're not used to it. You're used to being in that Emperor energy, in control of things in your own circumstances. And right now, you feel a little bit off kilter, that things are not going in the way that you had planned, that you had so meticulously planned, that you had all figured out, and now there's almost like a wrench in the system. That expression, a wrench in the system. I actually saw the image of the wrench being thrown in to a piece of machinery and just stopping. It's like all the cogs like and it just, everything stops. So then here you are having to investigate, look more closely, and take a step forward towards it. The Page of Wands always is taking a step forward towards something. Normally it would be a card of a new passionate adventure, new passionate endeavor, but I don't see that here. It's more like the Libras that I know like to get to the bottom of things. They're very, very thorough, and they want to know all the details. They might not have any use for those details, but they want to know them all. Almost like, so they know what they're working with, like getting a lay of the land. Now I'm seeing a topographical map, geological survey. maybe this is relevant to somebody out there, that you're looking at the land from above and trying to discern the most direct route or the most efficient route to getting to your goal. Because right now, this is telling me that the route that you had planned, someone threw that wrench in the plan. It was not something that you could prevent. It just happened. It's like a happenstance. I mean, I don't see there being any kind of accidents in life, but for all intents and purposes, it's like luck of the draw is what I wanted to say. Luck, it just happened the way that it happened. No matter how much we manifest, it just kind of, sometimes we can't predict, right? So you're having to be spontaneous and flexible. The word is flexible. Having to be flexible with how you approach something. But you're asking around, you're digging around, you're exploring, you know what I want to say is that this little Darwin seems very secretive, and I wouldn't normally use that word in any way with this card, especially because he's wearing a very bright red cape. Like, how secretive can you be in a jungle environment wearing a bright red cape? And yet, it's like you're flying under the radar, gathering intel, asking family and friends and co-workers about a situation that is relevant to you at this time, that will help you gain some clarity. That feels like a very, I don't mean it to sound as sinister as it may be sounding. It's not that it's sinister. You're not trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. Remember, Libra, you are the sign of balance. If there isn't balance in your world, karmic balance will come into play. And if any sign knows that, it's yours. So be mindful of the energy that you're putting out into the world. It always somehow bounces back to us. And you know that better than any other sign. So in the future position, yet another major arcana, again in the reverse. You have the Magician in the reverse. This is the card in the upright. I got this card. Oh, see, you see, look at that. You're getting a lay of the land. Spirit wants you to get that lay of the land, but you're not using all the tools at your disposal. I didn't even put that together. I wasn't even paying attention to that card until now. This card always reminds me of the time that I went skydiving, the one and only time. I was having a bit of a midlife crisis on that one. You know, we do things. And I jumped out of a plane, and it was terrifying, of course it would be. You kind of do this free fall. It's reminding me of the Hanged Man. Very interesting. You kind of do this free fall for like 45 seconds. And then they pull the chute, you know, doing a tandem dive, pull the chute. And then it's just this like beautiful float back down to the surface. It's relevant somehow. It's relevant for somebody. That idea that you're just kind of moving with the wind as an air sign. You're just listening to the wind, listening to the breeze coming off the ocean, coming off the land. It's like standing in your element. The Magician in the reverse would suggest that you're finding it difficult at this time to manifest what you want. You're a little frustrated right? This is the future position. Why? Oh, this is so, I'm sorry, but it's very classic Libra. Two of Pentacles in the upright. As you can see here, this character standing on high. Again, the height has something to do with it, the height. Standing on high with this kind of balancing act. These two spheres in the infinity symbol, right? The infinity symbol positioning to suggest that we're juggling, we can keep on juggling. We can just stay here. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? Should I do that? I love you, Libras. So many of my beloved friends and family are Libras. However, there's a little thing that I noticed. It doesn't have to be all Libras. The Libras in my life can sometimes be a little, slightly indecisive. Slightly. Most of the time. But once a Libra has made up their mind, you cannot budge it. Not even for a second. There's no crack. There's nothing you could do to get in between a Libra and their decisive action. Forget it, right? But in between, it's that difficult point. If we're talking about manifestation here, it might be difficult for you to decide on how you want to manifest at this time. You know you have ideas. Put the Emperor in reverse and the Magician in reverse. I mean, that feels like somebody who has a lot of ideas, who is well aware that they have resources, who is resourceful themselves, is what I wanted to say. It's what Spirit wanted me to say, rather. Like, Libras are some of the most resourceful people that I know. So it's not like you don't have plans, and it's not like you don't have resources and the intelligence to put all of that together and make it work for you. It's simply your preference, your prerogative. What do you want? What do you want? Because right now you're just sitting in this energy, and you will continue to sit in this energy, and that's okay too. Notice how she's perfectly balanced. Like, even her back leg, she's standing on one leg, but she doesn't look like she's strained in any way. So now Spirit wants me to say, you're not in a rush, and that's okay. You're not in a rush. In divine timing. But I would challenge that a little bit to look at the Magician card in the upright, where she's got this wand and this light, you know, kind of like a very famous wizard that we all know and love. You can make magic happen once you make the decision to make it happen. You just have to decide how you're going to move. Advice from Spirit. Another major arcana. As a clarifier, you have the King of Cups in the reverse. This is the King of Cups in the upright. So now you have the Queen and King of Cups in your reading, both in reverse. This is what we call in tarot a divine match. So I don't see this as a romantic affiliation, but take it as it resonates. It could be. This is a general reading. But the King of Cups, if this is you, divine feminine, divine masculine, a little bit out of alignment for you right now, the goal is to get back into alignment, to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. I don't know why that came into my head, but there it is. Know when to hold them and know when to fold them. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but it was very, very clear, so I have to say it out loud. So it could just resonate for like a single human out there. The King of Cups represents Scorpio energy. Talks about a person who keeps their emotions in check, who has a wealth of emotions, but just has them under control, has a mastery over them. But I want to point out in this card, there's a lot going on in this card. He himself looks like a ship in a bottle. The way that he is depicted, it's like he's very translucent, right? But this area is always so fascinating. This idea that in your solar plexus, in your gut, in the place where your intuition resides, right? When we get a gut feeling about something, it's in the stomach area, right? It's our like ding, 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 like our radar. In this depiction of the King of Cups, it's sharks, it's shark-infested waters, it's danger, 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 right? That this card in the upright, in this particular deck, in a particular interpretation, might represent the feeling that you don't want to be vulnerable, that you don't want to expose your feelings to anyone, even though you have a depth of them. And that's your decision. But it is in reverse now. So it's not, you know, the Emperor and the King of Cups in reverse. Emperor in reverse can sometimes be a little bit angry, can be frustrated, can be slightly rash when they don't get their way, or when somebody pushes their buttons, just one button too many, just poking the bear. So King of Cups in reverse is similar, not quite as intense, but it's like your feelings are like right there, and you are doing a pretty good job of just, all right, just everybody leave me alone so I can just deal with them. And, you know, perhaps push them down, which some air signs tend to do just because they're air signs. That's not their wheelhouse. Not everybody, I've learned as a water sign, not everybody likes to be vulnerable and express their emotions. I've learned that from Libras, right? And like I said, Libra is in my North Node, so you all are teaching me lessons too, but this is just, you know, I'm making a generalization, but it's just observation from the all. When I tell you I know a lot of Libras, I know a lot of Libras. So it's just you not wanting to express your emotions too much. Got the Moon card clarifying that, another major arcana. What a fascinating card too. I mean, the moon is just taking up what seems like half of the image, and this beautiful figure who is not facing us. Anytime a character is not facing us, it's always interesting, because you always want to see, like, where is their glance going? Where is it pointing to? How does it point in the spread? So on the table here, I have, like, this character would be looking at this one, right? So perhaps if I read it horizontally, the clarifiers horizontally, this Two of Pentacles, this back and forth, this juggling, looking at this Moon card, which represents Pisces and sometimes Cancer. The moon being the symbol of the, you know, the lunar cycles, the gravity of the moon controlling the tides. In itself, you know, we always think of the sun as a life-giving force, but the moon is also life-giving because it allows the planet to turn, right? It gives us that gravity and that inertia to turn. The moon in tarot can represent secrets, illusion, and confusion. It illuminates in the darkness. So there's shadows around and things we cannot see, but we know are somehow there. We can feel them, right? So clarifying the King of Cups, there's a part of you, because it's in reverse, there's a part of you that doesn't want to suppress it anymore. You want it, you actually do want the secret to come to the surface. Right now, see this kind of It's another kind of octopus, and I always like to think of the octopus as like a very great intelligence. They're very intelligent creatures. So that's how I interpret them. And in the upright, right, we're just, the secrets of the moon is just kind of holding it back, holding it down. Everything's under the surface. In the reverse, you know, you're just like, I can't feel these feelings right now. And Spirit is saying, oh, but you do feel these feelings. And I think they're about to make contact, like with your heart and perhaps your voice. And the soul that they need to be directed to, right? That's Spirit's advice. Spirit's advice is kind of telling you to get in touch with your feelings. Like in a major way, not in a superficial way. Like in a deep way. The kind of looking in the mirror way. Which is not always... Sometimes it can be fun. And sometimes it's not. It's this idea of you getting in touch with your emotions over a situation that caused you to retreat. I mean, this must have been some kind of situation if you just cut yourself off from something, right? We don't just cut ourselves off willy-nilly from things. We don't just do that, not without a reason. How do you see yourself in the moment? This is the last section. The King of Pentacles in the reverse, represented by the Divine Feminine. In this card, beautiful energy. Whenever we see like sunflowers and yellow, think of sun energy, life-giving energy. Think of the solar plexus, that gut feeling, those instincts and intuition, confidence center, a little bit of pride in there too, but like a healthy kind of pride, but you have it in reverse. So King of Pentacles, it's kind of like you're not really in the position of stability that you would prefer at this time. Perhaps you had some kind of monetary setback, and you're feeling it's clarified by the Empress in reverse. The Empress is my favorite card in the entire tarot deck, because the Empress, right, now we have another divine match, the Emperor and the Empress. The Empress is normally the character who is the great receiver, who has the power of all the queens in the tarot. So normally she's the great attractor. She's fertile and creative and abundant, so lush and blooming. And you have it in reverse, clarifying the King of Pentacles. So the way that you're feeling right now in this very moment is a little unstable, and thinking, how can I attract more abundance into my life? We don't just have to be talking about money here. It could also be opportunities and connections, material things, situations that you're feeling a little off-put right now. That's okay, right? Because this is why I'm giving you this reading, so that you can make different decisions for yourself, should you choose. It's always your choice. I'm just reading cards here, right? Like, I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm just taking a temperature and where Spirit is showing me that you're at. So it's your choice to make some changes. Now I hear that Michael Jackson song, Man in the Mirror. I don't particularly like that song either, but I'm gonna make a change, right, for once in my life. Now, Libra, I think you've made a lot of changes, and I think you've made a lot of changes recently, but it's the idea of getting back to this explorer energy. There's a playfulness to this card, and I say that because this toucan just looks like just wacky. He just looks, I mean, toucans are kind of wacky anyway, But of all the cards that I wanted to pick up here, because they're all rather serious, I wanted to pick up the one that was lighthearted. I felt like that was necessary. This kind of remembering this childlike, this childlike spirit within you that is playful and joyous. It's like not glossing over anything, not we're dealing with some very grown-up issues here, but life is for living. It's too short, and Spirit kind of wants you to know that whatever stagnancy that you feel in this energy, it is temporary. It is temporary. So perhaps the change that you need to make is simply your attitude towards this situation right now. It's to say, you know, I love the person that I am today. And without all the things in my past, I wouldn't be this person. So while I don't want to go back, I see the frog in my throat is coming because it's hard to talk about, right? Way I don't want to look back on that past, but I'm going to honor that past and everything that I've been through. This is a very long reading, Libra. No one else's reading has been this long. So it's important to say it. You got the Hunter. Beautiful card. It's Black Stallion, number 9. It's the Hunter. The seeker, the pursuer, the predator. The hunter hunts. They are on the precise mission with an aim. To return home empty-handed would be to fail, which is not an option in the hunter's eye. This archetype will journey far and wide, seeking the prize that calls to its heart or stomach. Tales of bravery and feats of strength often result, creating a life full of adventure. You see, creating a life full of adventure. The hunter is skillful, quick, decisive, and results-oriented. Like the great hunting goddess Artemis, who carries her quiver upon her back, the hunter typically has a weapon of choice. When this card appears, it is critical that you ask 3 questions. What am I hunting? Why am I hunting it? Is the weapon I hold so tightly in my grip truly needed for the task at hand? So here it is, right? Spirit is asking you, what do you want? What do you want? Right, Magician in reverse. That's your reading, Libra. I hope that you enjoyed it and that something resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe to this channel. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much, Libra.